Hello, amazing human, and thank you very much for your time here at the moment. Now, if you are here watching this video, I know that you care deeply about staff well-being, but you're probably a little bit confused about where to start. You know you have to do something, you actually want to do something, but time is being pressed. People are getting more and more excited, or shall we say, agitated or even exhausted. And we know that something has to happen, people calling out for things to happen, but we're not sure what to do. And so now you're looking for ways to actually fit into the existing systems and structures in your school that are actually going to be meaningful. And we're moving away from the trivial wellbeing initiatives. So what I want to do here in this particular video is actually walk you through what's in the Staff Wellbeing Booster Program. I want to share with you what I created, why I created it, how it works. I'm actually going to take you into the program where you can see how easy it is to click here, download here, show this, do that. Because I created it for busy leaders. I created it with you in mind because I know you specifically don't need something else added to your list. You are certainly not responsible for managing people's happiness. You're not responsible even for managing people's individual well-being, but we are responsible for creating the conditions in which people work, and we are responsible for providing resources to build people's capability in that space. And that's exactly what this program is designed to do. So let me just jump over and share my screen with you for a moment. And like I said, take you straight into the program. So what you will do is you will jump onto my website, which is teacher-wellbeing.com.au. You will be sent, once you've purchased the program, you'll be sent login details, which is your email and whichever password you choose to use. One person in your school, you, has access to the program. Inside that program, when you log in, this is what it looks like. And then you get to a place where you say, my gosh, what do I do? Where do I start? And so I've created the first module that says start here. And when you click on start here, you will see that it goes to a very quick little overview here, which says we've got two playbooks to download. The first one is called the Staff Wellbeing Booster Facilitator Guide, and the second one is the Staff Wellbeing Booster Reflection Guide. Now, think of these as this one is the lesson plan and this one is the worksheet. And so what we do then is we go through, so you download both of those. And if we go back to the program, you'll see you'll download these, and I will walk you through those now. And then we have module 1, which is unpacking wellbeing at work. Module 2, cognitive wellbeing, which is managing my cognitive fatigue, my thinking traps, my overthinking. Emotional well-being, so building emotional literacy, because in education we are really good at having conversations about stress, exhaustion, or the photocopier not working. We're not very good at using our language of emotional literacy. So we talk about, well, what are some of the words I can use to describe how I'm feeling right now? Then there's social well-being, which is about those connections. Physical well-being, about building habits around eating, sleeping, and exercise, and obviously nutrition in there as well. And then we talk about spiritual well-being, and then the last module is putting it all together. So that's it. That's the program. But the parts that I want to really highlight to you, so if we jump in, let's jump into cognitive well-being, for example. Let's jump into here. And once you go into this program, what will happen is there'll be a little video of me. So let's say, for example, you've got 20 minutes in a staff meeting and you go into your computer's hooked up to the screen in your library or your hall or wherever, or the staff room, wherever you choose to have your meetings. And then you play the video. The video is of me. The video goes for a few minutes. There I am. Aren't you lucky? Twice. And so it's a video of me where I'm talking directly to staff. And here I have a bit of an overview of for you that explains what the module is about and a key message for you as a leader. Now that's it. That's the online part. The part that you probably want to be more interested in is how it actually works and what is that facilitator manual. So that's what I'm going to explain to you next. But before I jump over into that, you'll see here that there's optional resources and extra readings. Now, some schools have a little bit more time. Some people are really interested in the research components. So I've put in some extra resources there for you as well. They're not compulsory, of course, but what they are is either a link to a video or a link to a research article or reading that you are welcome to share with staff. You are welcome to email that out to staff. It might be an invitation for those staff members who are interested in using that as well. So that's each module has one of those to help you and support you. But this is where you're now sitting there going, yeah, but what do I do? Yeah, but how do I use it? So let me share with you the playbooks. So let's bring this one over here. And here we have the first playbook. So I call them playbooks because I really want to talk about creating that playful space. And so this is what we call the lesson plans, if you like. So this is for you, the facilitator. Now, let me just walk you through quickly what is in here. So obviously there's a welcome page. There's a little bit more about me. And then I share with you an overview of the program in here so we can see the different modules. There are 7 modules. Each module is designed to roughly go for 15 to 25 minutes, depending on how much discussion time you want to allow people to have. And one of the common questions people ask me is this just for teachers or is it for all staff? What I'm talking about when we talk about staff wellbeing is we talk about human wellbeing, the human in the room, and there are humans everywhere in schools. So it's absolutely for all staff, not just teachers. It's for all staff. So I explain that. Obviously, we have some learning intentions, and then I go into, well, why does this matter? Now, I'm not going to go into this with you because you already know it matters. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. But just to give some context, and of course, then what is the science that informs the program. So just as we talk about best practice and evidence when we're talking about pedagogy, we also need to be talking about best practice and evidence when we're talking about workplace programs as well. So I draw on positive psychology, organizational psychology. I also draw on andragogy, which is the art and science of adult learning. So how we teach young people is different to how we teach adults. And this is a professional learning program. And then, of course, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is build self-determined humans. Educators and people that work in schools don't like to be micromanaged. And I know, it's a revelation. We don't like to be micromanaged, but we also want people to engage in their own capacity, their own agency. And so I draw on self-determination theory to actually build a sense of autonomy. We want to build knowledge and skills, which is the competence. And we do it in a way where we actually get to share with each other. So that's some of the foundations of the program. So what happens if we don't? You know all of that. We talk about the ripple effect as well. I put that information in there to just give a grounding of where the program's coming from. Because in the work that I've done with schools, and I've been working in this space for many, many years, so over 10 years, and working with schools all around Australia and in fact internationally. And one of the things that schools often say to me is, how do we get you in our school? Oh, something just fell over outside. How do we get you in our school for 10 minutes a month or 20 minutes a month? And so that's why I actually created this program. But there's no one answer. There's no fix for everything. So it's really important to highlight what this program's not. So this is very much a foundation level program, and it's a foundation piece as part of a bigger system. And I talk about creating a sustainable staff wellbeing system. So this is one part. This program does not address psychosocial hazards. It does not address workload. It does not address leadership practices. It does not address communication systems. It does not address a lot of things because one thing can't do everything. But what it is, it's designed to sit inside the other things that you put alongside it. So if you want to know more about the sustainable staff wellbeing system, then you reach out and I'm happy to share that with you. But just to give you context of what this program is and what this program isn't. And this is where people say, well, how do I use it? Now, as we said, there's 7 modules. Each module has a video that goes for about 5 minutes. Then you've got the facilitator playbook, which is this, which has the lesson plan, which I'll show you in a moment. And then there is the worksheet or the discussion sheet, discussion prompt that I've created for you as well. And that's all you need. There are no PowerPoints. The whole idea is to encourage human connection with people. And it's about having those conversations that are solution focused, proactive, empowering, reflective, and actually encourage people to think about themselves and say, well, how am I being at work? Because that's actually what well-being is. It's how do I be at work? It's not what I do at home. It's how do I be and show up at work. And then, of course, the module flow is based in andragogy and self-determination theory. So each module has 3 components in that module in terms of how I've support you in facilitating that. And from, like I said, I've been doing this for a long time, been working in schools, running workshops in schools for a very long time. And what people are thinking as when they're in front of me are 3 things. They're thinking, what am I doing here? So what, which means what's it got to do with me? And when you leave, now what am I supposed to do? And if you think about that, when you're running a meeting, regardless of what school you're in, regardless of what your position is in the school, the people in front of you, the adults in front of you, are asking themselves silently the same thing. What's the purpose of this meeting? What's this meeting got to do with me? And what am I supposed to do after this meeting? So when I've written the lesson plans or the modules, I've written it in that way where there is a contemplate component. What are we learning? A so what component, which is what does this have to do with me? And then a now what, which is now go and do this. So there's no PowerPoints, there's no real prep. It's just modules, flows with discussions. So here the module structure is like this. First one, contemplate. This is what we're doing. So you play the video. I'll explain it. I set it all up for you. You don't have to do or say anything. Then there is the worksheet or the connect sheet. Hand that out. That gives context. This is what it's got to do with you. Then what we do is I encourage you to create buddy boosters. So people have a buddy, and with that buddy, they make a commitment to each other saying, well, I'm going to do this. What are you going to do? And that becomes the entire program. So I've set it up in such a way that you don't have to think. I've done all the thinking for you, and every module follows the same structure. So there's some familiarity for people as well. In terms of setting up the buddies, you can do it in lots of different ways. Some schools have the same buddy for the whole year. Some people micromanage and say, you will be with this person. I don't advise that. That's basically an andragogy principle, which is let people choose their own buddies. You might want to change the buddies up each term. It's completely up to you. But I'll give you some instructions on how you can set that up. I also share a little bit about what your role is and what your role is not as a facilitator. Of course, creating a safe learning environment is really important. And then you've got some implementation options. People say, should I do this or should I do this? I say, it doesn't matter. Do something. Do something. So one school that I know that has been working with this program, they do 2 modules a term. And they do 2 modules together. So that they've got basically an hour or a 50-minute period of time that they allocate across the term, and they do that 4 terms. Another school that is using the program does 1 module a month, and they use 20 minutes in a meeting once a month, and they schedule it this way. And I know there is another school that runs this program in their wellbeing weeks in various terms, and I've even heard of another school that uses it on a whole day professional learning that the head of wellbeing usually runs themselves across the school. That one, of course, can be quite immersive, but it doesn't necessarily have the ongoing ripple effect. But again, it's whatever works for you and your school, because I know that this is not the only thing that you are doing. It's to sit in line with everything else that you are doing as well. So so that explains the context of how I've designed the program, the theory behind it, and so on and so on. So that is there for you as the foundations of the program. And then, of course, here are the lessons. But the lessons, again, 1 page. That's it. We don't want overwhelm. And so this is what you need to plan your meeting. Here's what. This is what the session is about. And so what's it got to do with people? And now what are people going to do? And then there is a little message for you as well. So that is your one-page preparation. That is all the thinking that you need to do. Then I've got a little poster here that you are welcome to print out and pop that up in your staff room as reminders for people as they're walking in and out to say, hey, remember, this is module 1, this is what we've been doing. Then there'll be module 2, same thing, building awareness of helpful and unhelpful thinking. This is what we're doing, this is so what, and this is now what. And again, a poster as well. So you get an idea of that's the information for you as the facilitator. But what does this look like for the lessons or the worksheets for your staff members? So this is, you can see Playbook 2. And in Playbook 2, so let's say here we've got Module 1. And this is what you would literally print out and hand to people. You can do 1 per group, 1 per person. It's completely up to you. And so here I explain what is this module about. So I give the foundation. Then there's a contemplate section, which is as after you've watched the video, what are some of your thoughts? And then for this one, there's the check-in, but let me go to module 2, which is, and that's your buddy booster tracking. If you wanted to keep track of who's, if everyone gets one of these and you write down who is your buddy, and then you write down after each module, what's your action going to be? And what's the check-in date and what you've learned. So again, it's just adding to that, providing that little bit of accountability, if you like. Not everyone plays. Some, to be honest, about 80% of people play with the buddies. Some people are not interested. They don't need it. It's okay. We're not micromanaging people. We're just providing the opportunities and providing the space. So if we go to module 2, you'll see here, we photocopy this. What are we learning? So we watch the video, jot down some thoughts on the video. If you have time for that, great. If you don't, it's okay. And then we've got a worksheet here where I explain the thinking traps. So we print this out, we give it to people, we ask them to write down their reflection. Then we have the connect part, find a partner and share, commit. Take a moment to consider one small action, share your action with a partner. This is your buddy booster. What action will I commit to? The name of my buddy to help me stay accountable, and how and when will I check in with my buddy? That's it. That's the entire program to give you some context to what that might look like. And like I said, I've designed the program to try and remove all the thinking for you, all the preparation for you. But in saying that, I need to highlight one more time, if we come over to here and say that this is only part of the picture. So I work with schools in a lot of different ways. I work with individuals where there are online programs that individuals choose to use themselves. I've got the membership, which is the monthly membership. It's a professional wellbeing community. And then, of course, some leadership, building leadership capacity with mentoring. But here's where the Staff Wellbeing Booster Program sits. So for schools, so some of you would already know I come into schools and run workshops, whether that be staff development days or leadership workshops. But this is where the Staff Wellbeing Booster Program sits. It's about turning that learning into action. It's about building self-determined humans. It's about building what I call our wellbeing intelligence. So intelligence isn't knowledge. Intelligence is application of knowledge. And so we're building people's language, we're building people's skills, and we're building people's wellbeing intelligence so they can be more mindful about how they show up for themselves, how they show up for each other, and how we acknowledge what matters most and connecting to our why of why we do what we do in education. Of course, next steps are about building sustainable systems where we look at psychosocial hazards, we look at reviewing communication systems, workload systems, recognition systems, role clarity systems, and so on. And of course, there's surveys and check-ins and all that sort of stuff that is available as well, because that's what creates that transformative change. But this Staff Wellbeing Booster Program, it's a foundation piece, because we can't just work on system stuff and we can't just work on individuals. If we work on systems without the individual, then people don't understand the changes that are happening, and we still get people that are a little bit disconnected, they're still disgruntled, they still feel undervalued, and so on. And if we just work on individuals without working on the system, then we're putting too much responsibility on people when they have no control over those workplace conditions. So we need to be doing both. So I hope that gives you a little bit more of an understanding of the Staff Wellbeing Booster Program. I hope it gives you some context of how to use it, how it can be helpful, how it supports or complements things you're already doing in your school. And of course, as always, if you have any questions, do reach out. If you want to have a chat about what this might look like in your school, then I can honestly tell you we've got schools using this program all around Australia, and I don't think any of them are doing it the same because schools are different. And like I said, you're doing so many different things anyway. But if you have any questions, reach out and have fun with it. And I look forward to hearing your story of how it goes. See ya.